When I first heard of It Takes Two, I passed it off as a kid's game because of the art style. Thought it was like the Lego games or something. And having played Hazelight Studios' previous game, A Way Out, which was fun but left me wanting more, so I wasn't jumping at the opportunity to play their next title. But when it won Game of the Year, I had to second guess myself and give it a shot. Hey guys, I'm Michael, and you're watching Retro Deviation. Thanks for clicking on my video. On this episode, I'm breaking down It Takes Two, spoiler free. This is one of those games that you want to play with a friend, not like you have a choice. There is no single player, it's only co-op, which makes sense because the whole game is designed that way. Exploring wouldn't be the same without someone to experience it with. Most games with co-op are made for a single player, and co-op is added on later in development. What makes It Takes Two stand out from the crowd is that it was made with co-op in mind from the very beginning. Every puzzle, platform, and boss designed for 2 players. Sounds like a basic thing, but you'd be surprised how many co-op games just kind of throw it into a single-player experience. It's also worth noting that It Takes Two doesn't allow you to search for a partner. You either need to play locally with a friend on your couch, or invite one of your friends online. There is no matchmaking. Another thing, you only need to purchase the game once. All your friend has to do is download the demo, and they could join you for the entire campaign. For those who haven't played it yet, I won't be spoiling the story. The basic premise is that these 2 parents' consciousness is put into their daughter's toys, and they're forced to work with each other to get back into their real bodies. The Book of Love acts as part narrator and part therapist. The 2 parents have a rocky past, and you could tell that in their chemistry. It's like if Pixar made Honey, I Shrunk the Adults. It handles some heavy subject matter. Fair warning, this can make or break your relationship. Everything is scaled according to your toy's size. There's inanimate objects and animals that can speak to you. The game feels really good to play. The controls are buttery smooth. You'll dodge to avoid falling platforms, enemy attacks, or to get that little bit of extra distance you need to make that jump. The guy has some really funny animations too. When he runs, it looks like Naruto, or when he dodges, he pelvic thrusts. The art direction makes you think like this game was made for kids, but there are some really tough boss fights that require a lot of communication and teamwork. Every area you explore throughout the game has a distinct atmosphere. There are levels in a vacuum cleaner, a dresser, a toolbox, a snow globe, and many more. Underwater sections are ominous and claustrophobic. The vacuum level has dust and garbage everywhere, as you would expect. Every part of the world has incredible attention to detail. The level design is made with 2 players in mind, with different paths that meet up at the end. They guide you where you need to go without any flashing arrows or objective markers. It reminds me of the Uncharted or Last of Us series. Each area looks and feels different from the others, while offering its own unique items to use. From items as simple as magnets to stuff as complicated as cloning yourself or shrinking and growing like Ant-Man. Unlike most games, you don't keep the items. At the end of every level, you lose them, and at the start of the next one, you're given 2 new items to use. This is because each level is designed with those items in mind. Cooperation is key, and if you cannot work with your partner, you're screwed, which is the central theme. The environment is filled with things to interact with, like snowballs or swings or flashlights. There are optional minigames you can participate in to complete with your partner, which is a nice change of pace from the cooperation. These aren't just tacked on, they really took their time to flesh out each individual game. Stuff like curling or an icicle throwing shooting range. My favorite being a snail race. That one caught me by surprise. It never gets tedious or repetitive. Each minigame comes along at the right time to give you a break from the narrative. The platforming reminds me of a Nintendo game. Even though different levels use the same basic mechanics, they keep it fresh, mixing things up just enough. The concept is simple, but it's pulled off masterfully. This is easily the most creative and original game I've played in a long time. If there's one thing I could say about It Takes Two, it's that it knows how to keep you on your toes. Each item you receive makes you play differently, and since each level gives you a new item, each level forces you to act and look at the world in a different way. This forces you out of your comfort zone, and makes you look forward to see what's next. Every time you think you know where it's going, you're flipped upside down and tossed on your ass. The voice acting is funny and heartwarming. Every character has a distinct personality and backstory. Just an overall great experience. I enjoyed every second and had to acknowledge to my friend how much fun I was having multiple times. This is one game everyone should play. Well, that about wraps it up. Leave a like if you liked it. Consider subscribing if you want to see what videos I have coming up soon. Stay safe, guys.